Hello, we'd like to welcome everyone to the Illinois Tech Alumni Association Hawk Talk Professional Development Series. And today we are starting a series with Robert Half Technology. So we would like to welcome Hillary McCafferty, who is a branch manager in the Chicago office, to speak to us today about social media in your career. If you all could actually make sure that you are muted during the presentation, please feel free to chat any questions and we will take questions at the end. Thank you. And we'll actually start with Hillary. Thanks, Hillary, for coming.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much. So not long ago, a tweet was the sound a bird made, and a friend requests you to do a favor. Oh, how times have changed. Today, social media sites like Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter are household names, and the lingo associated with them is common vernacular. Yet despite their popularity and continual growth, some misconceptions about these sites remain. Even among active users in particular, there's still a lot of uncertainty about how to best use these tools for professional purposes. But not to worry, today I'm going to lead you through a crash course in using social media to advance your career. So with that, bear with me here. I'll start by discussing social media in general. What is it exactly, and what role can it play in your career? Then we'll move on to talk about how to best leverage these specific social media sites, specifically LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter for business purposes. We will also take a look at how to build and maintain your online networks as well as the finer points of networking etiquette. We'll close out with how social media can help or hurt your job search. Let's go ahead and get started here. Social media is an umbrella term that covers a range of online resources that can be used for various purposes, including sharing updates, ideas, and images, like Facebook, Twitter, Google+, or the blogging platform Tumblr, as you may be familiar, professional networking such as LinkedIn, sharing photos, like Instagram, curating images like Pinterest, collaborating with others like Wikipedia, posting and viewing multimedia like YouTube. What all of these tools have in common is that they facilitate an exchange of information rather than a one-way flow from the source to a passive recipient. Social media also fosters a sense of community because you can reach a big audience, share content, and collaborate with others. Communication is immediate. Social media is scalable. You can use it to communicate with a close circle of friends or with virtually anyone in the world. A post can spark a discussion that leads to an exponentially larger audience if it goes viral. That's both the power as well as the danger of social media. But let's narrow our scope to the professional uses of social media. Maintaining an active network is critical at every stage of your career. Whether you're seeking a new job, looking to advance in your current role, or developing your skills. Social media, if used thoughtfully, can help you revitalize and expand your network. You can use social media to identify contacts. Those contacts can be people with whom you have a relationship or those with whom you share common interests. Social media channels allow you to easily leverage existing contacts to find new ones. Because you can see whose members of your network are linked to, you can ask for introductions. Networking websites provide a forum for staying in contact with these individuals regardless of location. Social media makes it much easier to build a bigger network, but building a better one still takes some work. Many people have large online networks that don't really serve their careers. Let's begin with quick overviews of LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, just in case you're not entirely familiar with these platforms. While these certainly aren't the only social media sites, they are the most prominent at the moment. So understanding the do's and don'ts of these sites in particular can really aid in your career. Okay, so we'll start with LinkedIn, the world's largest professional networking site. I would venture to guess that quite a few of you may be familiar or already have a LinkedIn account of your own. You're in good company. The site has more than 200 million members worldwide. Professionals are joining LinkedIn at a rate of approximately 2 new members per second. LinkedIn is designed for professional networking rather than keeping in touch with friends. You don't have to worry about separating your vacation photos from your professional certifications, for example. Thank goodness. The point of LinkedIn is to connect with other professionals with whom you have something in common. This may include fellow employees at your workplace, former colleagues, classmates, clients, people you've met at networking events, perhaps industry conferences, or prospective employers. Each LinkedIn member creates a personalized profile page. This is where you provide a career summary. Describe your current job, past positions, skills and expertise, education, organization and group affiliations, professional interests, awards, and so on. You can also provide links to additional materials such as your blog or industry-specific articles you've written. Having a complete and current profile is increasingly important. In a survey by our company, more than 1/3 of human resources managers said it's likely that traditional resumes will eventually be replaced by profiles on networking sites such as LinkedIn and Facebook. Here are some suggestions for creating a powerful profile. Write a succinct summary. Draft a clear and concise description of your professional skills, experience, and achievements. Think about the elements of your background that will capture people's attention. You don't need to outline your entire career history here, only the most compelling aspects. A short paragraph covering your top capabilities should suffice just fine. Use keywords. Incorporate relevant keywords into your summary and descriptions of positions you've held. LinkedIn members can conduct searches for others to connect with using many different options, including keyword, company name, job title, location, group membership, or alma mater. LinkedIn also makes you more visible beyond the LinkedIn community. For example, someone Googling your name may be directed to your profile. Increase the odds an employer or recruiter finds you by considering the likely search terms a hiring manager would use to locate a professional such as yourself. Something good to keep in mind. You want to make sure that you remain truthful. This tip seems obvious, but it does bear repeating. Be completely honest. Resume padding doesn't work well in the digital era. Your boss, colleagues, and business contacts may come across this information, so you want to make sure that it's accurate. Get the picture. Profiles with photos are viewed more often. Posting a profile pic adds legitimacy and confirms your identity. Choose a photo in which you're dressed professionally in a business setting. Frame the shot from the head to the shoulders, nice composite photo, and make sure you're the only person in the picture. While you don't need to hire a professional photographer, this is not the place for cropped happy hour photos, so just keep that in mind as well. Keep it fresh. Once you've established a presence on LinkedIn, don't let it grow stale. As you gain new skills and responsibilities, you can add those to your profile. One benefit of this practice, by adding updates, new skills, or a more current photo, you'll show up in weekly updates email that members of your network receive. As a result, you'll remain top of mind, even to contacts you haven't spoke to in some time. Now, let's run through some general tips on making the most of LinkedIn. Personalize your URL. LinkedIn assigns users a URL consisting of random numbers and letters. However, you can customize your URL with your name in it so it's easy to share and remember. Let's go into your profile settings to do so. Once you have established a vanity URL, you can include it in your email signature, on your business card, or resume. It's a quick and easy way to bolster your professional brand. Add a personal touch. When you reach out to people with whom you would like to connect, LinkedIn gives you the option of sending a generic message that reads, I'd like to add you to my professional network on LinkedIn. While that's fine, it's much better to customize your connection request. For example, you might add something like, "Hi, David. It was so great meeting you at the networking event yesterday. I'd like to add you to my network and stay in touch." Think about it. Which request would you be more likely to respond to? Probably the personalized one. Ask for recommendations and endorsements. LinkedIn provides space for others to comment on your work. Don't be shy about asking people to write about their positive experiences working with you. Recommendations can function as powerful marketing tools, particularly when you're on the job hunt. But be strategic. Target members of your professional network who will speak most knowledgeably, enthusiastically, and persuasively about your skills, qualifications, and work ethic. When soliciting a testimonial, write a personalized note explaining why you value that particular person's support. The more effort you put into crafting a gracious request, the more time and thought people will put into their recommendations. Also, ask for endorsements. With just a click of the mouse, a connection can vouch for skills you've listed, such as project management or financial reporting. When someone publicly vouches for you, promptly express your appreciation with a short message. When someone publicly vouches for you, promptly express your appreciation with a short message. Bear in mind that some people may not be able to provide references or endorsements due to their employer policies, so don't push too hard. Don't take it personally if they can't help you. Likewise, make sure your company permits employees to give LinkedIn recommendations before you decide to commit to writing one for someone else. Join groups. My advice is to join as many as you can and maximize those. LinkedIn has many groups for people who share certain professional passions. These groups can help you keep your finger on the pulse of your field. For example, a group of payroll professionals could come together on LinkedIn and post about certifications, job openings, tax code changes, and so on. Groups exist for many specialized niches. Robert Half Technology has its own LinkedIn group for professionals as well, so in various technology, and in various other lines of business. So definitely you can find us there on LinkedIn. When participating in professional groups, try to provide useful information and input whenever possible. That way you're adding value. And speaking of adding value, consistently add value. You can share career-related updates, post links, pertinent information, or respond to contacts who've asked questions. Posting regularly and posting quality content will help you keep top of mind and establish yourself as an expert in your field. How often should you share new content? That's a great question, and I would say you probably want to aim for 2 to 4 posts per week. More often than that, you risk kind of spanning your contacts, and you don't want to do that. So, I would just keep that in mind. 2 to 4 is a good way to go. Now, we've talked about LinkedIn. Let's turn our attention to Facebook. I would venture to guess that most of you have a Facebook profile. Facebook has grown to become the most used social media site in the world. It now has more than 1 billion active monthly users. Yes, you've heard right. That is a billion with a B. Unlike the more buttoned-up LinkedIn, Facebook started as a social networking site. As you probably know, people use it to keep in touch with friends and family, share photos, play interactive games, and participate in groups based on shared interests and hobbies. Having an issue here. Bear with me one second. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Different people use Facebook in different ways. As a result, the line between personal and professional can get blurry. To minimize sticky situations, some people keep their Facebook profiles private while others create separate profiles for social and professional purposes. You could always go that route as well. Others have decided their work and their personal lives are so intertwined, they have absolutely no reservations about friending coworkers and clients. Just as you might share details about your personal life during a business lunch, you may find that connecting with professional contacts on Facebook strengthens those relationships. Whatever route you choose, it's important to understand the rules of the road. Let's dive into a few specific do's and don'ts. Okay. Do show good judgment. It pays to be thoughtful and cautious. Even if you don't plan to use Facebook for professional purposes, err on the side of caution with the content you decide to share. People have been embarrassed, reprimanded, or even fired and lost their job offers because of a lack of discretion and common sense. If you adopt the mindset that Facebook is a public forum, that will help guard against career-limiting goofs. Despite countless cautionary tales, people continue damaging their reputations with various faux pas, sharing ill-advised musings and photos, or even liking someone else's inappropriate comment can undermine your credibility. You certainly don't want to do that. Don't friend the boss. I repeat, don't friend the boss. It can be awkward friending the boss, so play it safe and wait for your supervisor to reach out to you first. Regardless of how well you get along at work, certain managers, colleagues, and other business contacts won't be interested in connecting via Facebook. Don't take it personally. People use different criteria for their online networks, or they may not be regular Facebook users. On the flip side, if you don't wish to accept friend requests from professional contacts, don't ignore or deny them without an explanation. Have a polite and straightforward decline reply. For instance, you might write, "Thanks for contacting me. I'm one of those people who uses Facebook for keeping up with close personal relationships. I'd be happy to connect on LinkedIn." Do adjust your privacy settings. Do you want every single person in the world to be able to see your Facebook activity, or only friends, or friends of friends? Do you want others to be able to tag you in photos or post on your page? It's possible to separate your personal and professional contacts. Consider creating a work list and limiting the content available to those people. Friends in the restricted category can only see your public profile. Facebook also has a feature that lets you view your profile the way particular friends can see it. If you're not comfortable with what someone can see, you can change your settings. You can also control what you're seeing by non-friends who might try to reach out to you via Facebook. And thankfully, if you have those less than refined loose cannon types in your life who love embarrassing you, you can block those people. Even after you've customized your privacy settings, you still should check them regularly, as Facebook often makes changes to their privacy policy. So you do want to make it a habit to go back in every so often just to double check that it still looks the way you want it to. Don't play tag. Always get permission before tagging people in posts or photos, especially because they might not appreciate it. Likewise, respect other people's timelines, formerly known as the wall, as some of you may know, which is essentially a billboard that could potentially be viewed by anyone. You never know who might see your photo or link. As such, using email or Facebook's messaging feature is a safer approach for reaching out. Now let's move from discussing timelines to talking about tweets. So Twitter is definitely one of those medias that is growing rapidly. I'm sure several of you have Twitter accounts. Twitter lets you write short posts, aka tweets, to keep others informed about your current activities or thoughts. Tweets are limited to 140 characters. Given those parameters, the posts are obviously concise. They usually include a link to an interesting article or a blog or an online video. Twitter enables you to follow other members if you find their posts interesting. Likewise, other people can follow you. Some users amass thousands of followers. Me, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm working on it. Following experts in your industry is a great way to keep current on trends in your field or area of specialization. In fact, some people treat Twitter as a news feed for their professional interests. Beyond just following individuals, you can follow organizations, whether it's an association you're a member of or a firm you'd be interested in joining. Many companies have Twitter feeds to share job postings, announce events they are hosting, or pass along industry news. For instance, you'll find a stream of valuable career-related information by following Robert Half Technology. Following smart, well-connected people and organizations is a great way to stay in the know. However, if you truly want to maximize Twitter's career-building potential, there needs to be an ongoing exchange of information. As such, you really do need to post regularly to build and maintain a strong network. But that doesn't mean you should chronicle your every move with the deluge of trivial posts like having sushi for lunch, yum. It actually means adding value by consistently finding something worthwhile to share. Valuable content, articles, links, things like that. The goal is to show you that you're plugged in by frequently offering useful tweets. If you're thoughtful and consistent, these posts can be a great advertisement for your knowledge and expertise. Here are some additional tips on getting started with Twitter. Introduce yourself. Twitter is not the place for your full resume. Twitter gives you space for only a very short bio. You get 160 characters. Explain who you are, what you do, and what followers can expect. Whether you're in the job market or not, a blank bio is a missed opportunity, if you ask me. Find and follow the right people. Once you've posted your professional bio, it's time to find people to follow. You might want to start with existing members of your real-world network and industry experts you're familiar with. From there, you can find others to follow by seeing who those people follow. So it's a bit of a domino effect there. You can also use Twitter's search tool to look for individuals with specific interests. Searching directories like the website wefollow.com is another good option to use. You always want to make sure that you remain polite and professional. Your objective is to inform and encourage thoughtful dialogue, not stir up trouble. It is okay to have opinions, but be respectful rather than snarky, especially if you're in the job market. If you share criticism, make sure it's constructive. Just one ill-advised tweet can quickly damage your reputation. Be natural, sound like a human being. Maintain a professional tone. Don't write in an overly formal fashion. It's important to use a genuine voice. Pay it forward. Twitter allows you to retweet someone else's tweet, which is basically just passing along another's post to your followers. Retweets are generally appreciated by the original author. In addition to generating goodwill with that person, you show your followers that it's not always just about you. Be cautious with who you follow. As you gain followers, consider returning the favor by following them back, but be careful. Avoid following anyone controversial. Now that we've done an overview of the big 3 social media sites, let's look at how to build and maintain your online networks. The best thing about an online network is that you can locate and connect with almost anyone in the world. The worst thing about an online network, you can locate and connect with almost anyone in the world. What do I mean by this? I mean that it can be difficult to determine whom to let into your network and whom to keep out. As with traditional in-person networking, bigger is not always better. It's often more beneficial to have 10 contacts you really know well than 100 or even 1,000 if you hardly know them at all. That's because you can feel confident turning to the 10 close contacts for trusted advice or assistance. But not every single person subscribes to this philosophy, and you may not either. So, for instance, there is a subset of LinkedIn users known as LinkedIn Open Networkers, or Lions for short. These people build networks as large as possible by inviting total strangers into their networks. Some Lions have thousands of contacts. Whatever end of the spectrum you choose, it's smart to set guidelines for yourself so you can build a network that best meets your needs. You may decide to add a person to your network only if you've interacted with him or her in person. The rules can be as tight or as loose as you see fit. That's totally your choice. You can adjust as needed, but it's good to have some general parameters in mind. Doing so will help you avoid awkward situations and keep your online network manageable, which is key. Before I finish talking about managing your virtual network, I would like to go over some points about etiquette. The tips I'm going to give you help you on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as any other social media site that you might wish to join. Social media has created new ways to share, connect, and unfortunately blunder. While networking sites allow for a degree of informality, there are still some unwritten codes of conduct to adhere to. Unfortunately, many professionals fail to mind their manners, and those missteps can prove costly. In a Robert Half survey, 76% of managers said technical etiquette breaches adversely affect a person's career prospects. Let's talk about tips for enhancing your networking know-how. Name drop with care, number one. Having mutual contacts make it much easier for you to link to new people online, but name dropping can backfire if you don't get permission first. Likewise, misrepresenting yourself or representing your relationship with a shared connection will damage your credibility with both parties. There is a very big difference between a great personal friend and a casual business acquaintance you've met a handful of times. You want to make sure that you be upfront. Formally introduce yourself when reaching out to someone you don't know. If you have no context in common, explain how you found the person and spell out a reason for writing. For example, you may want to say something like, I'm an accountant with a public corporation. I'm looking to move into the nonprofit sector. I'd like to add you to my network because I see you're a senior manager with a respected charity in the area, and I appreciate your insight into this career path. Act fast. Chances are you'll meet people through normal business interactions. Say, at a client meeting or industry conference that you'll want to add to your network. When these situations arise, strike while the iron is hot. The best time to send an invitation to connect or accept one is right after you've met the person, not a month later. So you want to keep that in mind as well. In your invite, remind the person how you know each other, especially if the initial meeting was brief. Give them a little refresher. Don't abuse new connections. One of the cardinal sins of social networking is requesting assistance before you formed a meaningful relationship. So don't ask a new contact for something if you've been connected for only a little while. As with traditional networking, it takes time to establish trust and rapport. So the other thing that you want to remember is that you need to give to receive. Tending to your network should be an ongoing priority, not an activity you participate in only when you need something. Consistently asking people for introductions and recommendations, but rarely returning the favor won't get you very far. If you are sincerely interested in building long-term, mutually beneficial relationships, you should strive to give more than you take. Respond to requests promptly, volunteer information, and help your contacts forge valuable connections. The bottom line, the best networkers are responsive, reliable, and resourceful. Proofread. I cannot stress this one enough. Follow the rules of good writing. Check your messages, updates, and online bios for spelling, grammatical, and punctuation errors. Few things scream unprofessional like typos and texting shorthand, so try to avoid that at all costs. Be discreet. It seems like oversharing is an epidemic. How many times have you found yourself shocked by a contact's imprudent post? Protect your reputation by using a combination of good judgment and adequate privacy settings. Keep calm and carry on. The internet can be an infuriating place sometimes. While you want to provide timely feedback on events, experiences, and other people's posts, think twice before commenting on something that's upsetting to you. You can't afford to let your first impulse get the best of you. The old rule about angry emails still applies. Before you hit the return key, take the time to reread your comments carefully. Then step away from the keyboard and wait a few minutes, then delete them. Know your company's rules on social media. Familiarize yourself with your company's web and social media policy. If social media usage is allowed, remain mindful of how much time you spend online during work hours. Too many timestamped updates, comments, or tweets that don't directly relate to business could lead you, your boss, or your colleagues to question your commitment to the job. You don't want to hang out on Facebook all day. Um, Finally, let's look at some ways to use social media to help you with the job hunt. Let's talk now about how social media can aid your job search. Before I get into specifics, though, keep in mind that social media should not be the only tool you use. It is not a magic solution. It is not the end-all be-all, but it certainly does help. The most effective strategy to use social media is to complement other activities such as in-person networking, working with a staffing firm, or a recruiter. One advantage of social media is that it allows you to quickly get the word out about your career pursuits. You can also secure job leads and referrals from members of your networks by connecting with them online. If you hope to land a job with a particular company, you might be able to locate someone through your network who works for that firm and can assist you. Social media sites include features and groups designed specifically for job seekers. There are countless groups dedicated to listing current employment opportunities. Many job groups exist for different cities, regions, and specialties, and they're easy to find using the searches with keywords. On LinkedIn, one of the biggest groups is job openings, job leads, and job connections. So definitely check that one out if you haven't done so already. You can search for employment opportunities on LinkedIn by clicking the Jobs tab on the main menu bar. Use the Advanced Search feature to narrow jobs by function, experience level, industry, date posted, and salary range. You can gain access to more features and filters by upgrading to a paid premium account. Under the News tab, you'll find LinkedIn Signal. This is searchable, and this can give you, you can search for job titles you're interested in, or the word hiring, for example, to quickly find out who's in your network looking for a candidate such as yourself. So you have a lot of great features there that you can utilize. For Twitter users, there's a service called Tweet My Jobs. The site will send you new job opportunities that match the criteria you've pre-selected, such as occupation and location. There are apps for Facebook as well. Branch Out, it's a free application designed for finding jobs, connecting with employers and recruiters. Another app for Facebook is Be Known, which was developed by the job board Monster. So just a few examples. Here we go. Many companies have social media accounts devoted to posting employment openings or interacting with potential candidates. By following or liking companies you're interested in, you'll not only learn about new job opportunities, but also about the company itself. Gaining information about their products, services, history, and business model will enable you to better target your application materials. Not to mention, it can come across well in an interview. Social media also gives you an opportunity to explore job opportunities in a passive way. By having complete and current profiles and remaining active on the online community, an employer or recruiter searching for potential hires may stumble upon you. Some sites, such as LinkedIn, allow you to select settings that notify prospective employers that you're interested in learning about new career opportunities. One last tip related to social media and job hunting. You'll want to make sure that you check your digital footprint. Assume hiring managers are going to search online for information about you. Google yourself. Check your privacy settings and scrub any questionable content now. The same off-color comments or risque photos that seemed amusing years ago could actually lead prospective employers to question your character or common sense. When in doubt, make friends with your delete button. It will only serve you well. Be mindful, however, that despite your best efforts, some digital debris is impossible to erase. Clean up what you can and play it safe going forward. Think about how the words or images you publish on social media could be perceived by a hiring manager down the road. Before we end, I would like to point out that there is no rule requiring you to become a Twitter celebrity with an impeccable LinkedIn profile. Social media can offer plenty of potential career benefits, but not if it drains you of time and energy. The best way to maintain a beneficial social media presence is to base your activity and interactions on things you generally enjoy doing, not on a sense of duty. If you get a charge out of posting about new developments in a niche area of your field or connecting like-minded people, you'll be more likely to keep up with those activities. By contrast, if you force yourself to post a certain number of times on topics you should be interested in, you're likely going to feel more irritated than inspired. You're also likely to have more trouble maintaining the activity consistently, which could very well affect the way the other professionals perceive you. So have fun with it. Post things that you're interested in. Finally, it's important that you understand that you still need to network and job search offline. Use social media to supplement, not replace your traditional effort. Engaging with other professionals online should not prevent you from also seeing them face-to-face. Occasionally, get together with contacts for coffee or lunch and meet with new people at industry events such as this one. Also, if you were in the employment market, consider reaching out to a professional recruiter. While social media provides an easy way to cultivate new contacts or renew old ties, meaningful in-person interaction will help solidify the relationships and make networking and job searching efforts more successful. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. I encourage you to follow Robert Half Technology on social media.
Thanks, Hillary. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone want to type questions for Hillary in regards to this presentation on social media? I don't see any questions at this time. Hillary, did you have any last comments?
No, I just appreciate everyone's time. If you would like to find me on LinkedIn, I'm there. Feel free to connect with me there.
Great. So guys, please remember that if you missed a portion of this presentation or if you would like to go back to it, it can be found. All of our archived videos can be found on the website. So you can either go through the Alumni Association website and click on resources for career services or click directly on the career services website to be able to find the information under the alumni tab. Please check the alumni calendar for any updated events that will be going on throughout the year. And remember that Career Services is available to you for life at no cost. So please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. No other questions? Thank you guys for attending. Have a great day.
Thank you.